Welcome back to another episode of the Baker and the Banker podcast. I'm Jenny Keller of Jenny Cookies, and this is my mortgage guy, Dan.
We're getting ready to party.
I'm here with my party animal today.
Yes, your partner, your party partner.
Party partner in crime.
That's it.
So all these podcast themes are kind of trending from things that we do, things that we love, things that we know well. And I have kind of coined myself the party girl. And this week, we're throwing a huge party for Dan, for his clients.
Yes, for my client.
This is the first time I think he's ever asked me to throw a party. I think I've always found a reason or any season to throw a party, but he said, I need to celebrate my clients. It's been like COVID. You've been so busy. We haven't even had time to host an event.
Well, it's been a few years, and my clients have been so good to me. They've recommended me, and I want to celebrate them. So what better way than to have the best party thrower in the whole entire universe help me throw a party. Dan.
Well, let's start with how you host a party, because not everybody loves, the party that we're going to throw for you. They might, right?
Everyone's going to love it.
Okay, everybody's going to love Dan's party. But in case you don't, and let me preface all of this with, you can throw a party any day of the week. It doesn't have to be a big, huge party. Like we've thrown parties at the park with kids when they were little. We're like, hey, everybody meet at the park and, wear something green, and we're going to hide a pot of gold in the field, and the kids will go have an activity to do. I've had ladies over to wrap Christmas gifts and called that a party. We've had favorite things parties where it's husbands and wives or just girls. We've done birthday parties. We've done every party there is.
On the deck. You did a dance party during COVID.
We did.
When you couldn't be inside.
Yes.
And you brought a dance instructor over.
Yes.
And I'll never forget it. You were on our back deck. Literally 8 women dancing with Amy.
It was
awesome.
So fun. I'm just big on making fun memories for my kids, for my family, for my friends. And I think that hosting parties is, I don't know, something I kind of know how to do and love to do. So
you're a party girl.
I'm a party girl. Okay, so first thing you do is got to, obviously pick out your date and time. And like I said, it doesn't have to be something super planned out. I can plan a party in a pinch. So with Dan's party that's coming up, this is a bigger guest list. So we've known for a while, the date and time. But typically when I host a party, unless it's like a birthday and it has to be on a certain day, I do like to check in with a few people that I really want to have there to make sure they can come. And then it's good to consider, obviously, the time of year, if it's going to be indoor, outdoor, all those basic things, the occasion, all of that. But once you've chosen the date, this is one of my favorite things about the party. And the party hasn't even started yet.
Jenny told me.
Do you know what it is?
She said to carve this on her headstone. Okay, it's that important, guys. So listen up. The next sentence is important.
The invitation sets the stage for the party.
Can you say that again so I don't forget it, to carve it on your headstone, please? What is it?
The invitation sets the stage for the party. I believe it in my whole being.
I know she believes it because I've seen her invitations for our kids' parties, for other parties. I mean, my invitation was good. I thought it was really good. When you showed it to me, I was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing.
I think that when you open your mailbox or your doorstep or your email or wherever you're getting this invitation, it's like that first glance of what that party's going to be like. Mm-hmm. And it doesn't have to be huge. Like I said, sometimes a party is just meeting at the park the next day, and that's just a text. But it also tells you it's not going to be some crazy party because you're throwing it the next day. But we've hosted, Hudson had a shark party one year, and it was it was a wood shark, that arrived in this beautiful box. That was so fun. He had a baseball party one year, and I printed the invitations on the baseball. Yeah, that was probably one of my favorites.
That's in my office right now.
Yep. Yeah. He had a Peter Pan birthday where I sent out the invitations kind of rolled up in a scroll and in a bottle with sand. Yeah. Parents didn't love that one so much because to get into it, the sand had to kind of break out of the bottle. Allie did an ice skating party once, and we did invitations in a snow globe.
So I'm just going to play devil's advocate here. Not everyone can do that.
No.
Right? So how do you do that on, I don't even want to say a budget, but how do you do that kind of scaled down a little?
Okay. So you definitely have to have a budget, and that's in my list here. But it doesn't always have to be so crazy. There's a lot of really cool websites that give you like a digital invitation, which are free. You can send out you can make things in Canva now. For Dan's party, we didn't say your theme yet, but what we're doing for Dan's theme is a Mariners home and opener party, like a watch party, because he loves baseball. We considered the time of year before we figured out the theme. And so we created like a ticket that looks like a real ticket, so much like a real ticket that clients were messaging you and they're like, what is this? Are we going to the game?
I'm like, no, keep reading the info.
But hey, look, it caught their eye, which is so good, right? So I love a great invitation. And that was what got us to the next thing. If you're having a theme, you'll need to decide on like, what is the theme? If you want to have a theme party, which is what we did for you. We were like, okay, you want to have a party. It's in March. Mariners home opener is in March. You love baseball. So let's make it a Mariners party.
And the Mariners are trending. They had a great year last year. This is something to celebrate.
Yep. But like once I have a theme, it's like my brain goes crazy and I'm like, okay, Mariners. Okay, now we have a color palette, right? And Mariners, for example, you're wearing your Mariners hat now. There's navy blue and like that teal color, but also they have the throwback colors. 80s. And I love anything vintage. So I went vintage on the party. It's like the royal blue with the mustard colors for this party. But no matter what theme you have, get your color palette together. And that's kind of going to tie everything together. Like now you know what you're looking for. Your guests, you can tell your guests it's a Mariners party. So for example, wear your Mariners jerseys, your Mariners gear, Mariners colors, but that could go for any party you're throwing. Once you know the theme, and it makes it more fun for guests too, because then now they can like, think of a fun costume. Like Allie's 16th birthday, we told everybody to wear pink.
Yeah.
And everybody showed up in pink, and it was so fun. I
had a white and pink sweatshirt.
Yeah, just like a little pop of pink.
I'll never forget, you did a Christmas present wrapping party and all your girls literally showed up to our farmhouse in pajamas.
Yeah.
Like, because you probably bought them pajamas or something.
No, I just said, like, come over at night, wear your pajamas. Yeah. Well, I think a lot of people overthink what they're going to wear to things too. So it does help when they're like, just tell me what to wear. Yeah. So I love it. I think it makes the party photos really fun too, because everybody's like kind of in similar attire.
So are there any tips on planning your guest list?
Ooh, guest list is hard. One thing I have told myself when I've overthought, like, how do I not invite that person? Or if I invite this person's going to be upset, because everybody's going to have that moment. And I've always said, you can't be invited to everything and you have to be okay with it. And that's a little lesson I've, taught my kids too, because I think with social media now, everybody sees what everybody else is doing. Yeah. And if you're the party host, you're going to worry that people are going to see that and like, I didn't get invited to that party. Wish I could have gone to that party. But as the outsider too, you might see that like, oh, I wish I could have gone, or my kids will see that they didn't get to go to something. You just have to remember in life, you can't be invited to everything. So don't overthink it too much. Just know you can't invite every single person It's just not that way.
Seating is limited or space is limited, all that kind of stuff. So, okay.
Yeah. So, and then the other thing with guest list is kind of once you have things nailed down and you're starting to think about who you're going to invite, I don't like to invite every single person I know, because I like to make sure everybody at the party at least knows one person.
I think that's genius. We've talked about that before, because you've done parties before where they're bringing their husbands.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, so-and-so doesn't know anyone.
Yes.
And I'm like, well, I kind of know him. And I'm fine.
Yeah.
I'm kind of fine playing Switzerland, right?
Totally.
Like kind of bouncing around and being like neutral and then connecting. Like, hey, do you know so-and-so?
Yeah.
But I think that's so important that, like, I've gone to parties before with you and I'm like, I don't know anybody.
And it's awkward. Right?
And it is kind of awkward. And then and then I feel like I'm your third wheel.
Yeah. No, it's important as the host to think through that, because then it makes people feel comfortable. And then at least there's like one person that they know. Yeah. So you don't have that person clinging on to you all night.
Yeah, that's really smart.
Just a personal tip. Sometimes you're not going to always know everybody. So you have to know that person that doesn't know anybody. Make sure you introduce them to someone. I know this is...
Go back to our last podcast.
Okay.
It's an opportunity to make a new friend.
That's right. That's right. That's what Heather would say. All right, here's the next part I don't really like that much, but I know you like.
What?
Determining the budget.
Yeah, sometimes with your parties, they're ridiculous, but you also do get partnerships with companies, so you don't have to bear the brunt of all of the costs. But yes.
Hasn't always been that way.
No, it hasn't. And I was like,
so there's been a lot of years and parties and celebrations where I've made things myself, crafted little things, built things. It really depends on everybody, you can do a party on a penny. I'm telling you, I can show you how to do a party on a penny. But if you are going to work within a budget, set that early so that you know how to kind of dissect that out and know where funds are being allocated for different things.
Whether you cater it or whether you just do all the cooking and the baking, or you ask people to bring something.
Yes, and that can be really fun. Sometimes people don't like to have other people bring things to parties, where I've kind of embraced it a little bit. I think it helps people feel like part of the event when you're like, why don't you bring an appetizer? Can you bring, I always ask people to bring ice. You always need ice, right? But if you do, like if you're going to have alcohol, like bring your favorite bottle of wine to share. I don't know. It's kind of a conversation starter. I mean, obviously if it's like a kid's birthday party or something like that, that feels kind of weird to ask people to bring things. I don't recommend it for that. But if you're just having a just because party, take people off on their offer. Where are you going to host? This is something that's highly asked to me. Like, where do you host parties? And talk to me about venues, because there aren't a lot of party venues outside of like wedding venues or specific places where like you go and make pottery or you're painting something or it's a bouncy place or it's like a kid's thing. So that one's a tough one. I love to just host at my house, but also like I love to host outside. So that's one of those seasonal things where if you can host like at a park or in a field, or I mean, we've hosted like Hudson's baseball game party was at just a baseball field. Didn't cost us anything. He had a shark party at the country club we were a part of. So that was considered a venue, I guess, if you will.
That cost us. We had to rent the pool.
We did have to rent the pool. But I mean, most of the times with a kid's birthday, you are going to have to pay for something. But try to think through places where you won't have to pay, because that can be a big chunk of your budget.
We've done beach parties.
Hudson's was at the beach. That was free.
His crab party.
He did a crab. We did like a crab boil on the beach. So yes, if you can find a free venue, go there. Yeah. Because that will save you. Yep. Food and drinks. Okay. Food and drinks are all going to line up with your theme, right? So if it's a crab party, obviously you're going to do a crab boil. If it's a baseball party, you're doing ballpark food. So Dan's party, I have connected with this super cool hot dog vendor that's coming with his cart. Are you tired? Or am I making you yawn?
I told you right when I got here today, I was like, I'm going to go make coffee.
Dan's yawning. I'm making him yawn for the fun.
But okay.
So hot dogs for the baseball party. We have got ice cream in the cutest little like Mariners cups. I mean, so like think through what your theme is and how you can plan food around the theme, around the season. But also remember that you don't need a ton of food at a party, because nobody sits at a party and eats a ton of food.
See, that's what I learned, because I'm sitting here going, oh my gosh, we're going to need 150 hot dogs and 150 containers of ice cream and 150 Jenny cookies, which, by the way, you didn't talk about those yet. They're the cutest. She sent me a picture the other day. I'll put it up on the screen for YouTubers. I was like at work when she texted it to me and I was like blown away. But I learned that from you. I'm like, you're right. But we are going to have beer and wine, and I think people will drink.
Yeah, probably a little.
Socialize a little there. But
if you're planning a party at home, just remember, you don't need tons and tons of food. I bet people listening are like, she's right, because I've had tons and tons of leftovers. Yeah. So I usually do like grazing boards, appetizers, just little snacks.
What's a grazing board? Like
like a snack board. Got it. Like little snacks you can eat. And then with dessert, I always tell people, like especially people that reach out to the bake shop, like I'm hosting a wedding or a party, how many treats do I need? And I say, if you're doing a whole dessert table and say you have 100 guests, you don't need 100 cookies, 100 cupcakes, 100 cake pops, 100 Rice Krispie treats, and 100 brownies, because nobody's going to go through the line or the table and get every single one. So I usually estimate like 2.5 for each person. You're going to get that one kid that's going to take one of each and take one bite.
Yeah, but you also can have that dad that doesn't like sugar and not get anything.
Exactly. So you don't need a ton. Okay. And then always have a take-home container, bag, plate, something for guests to take things home. Oh, cool. Unless you're the kind of person that loves to have leftovers. Personally, after a party, I'm like ready for it just to all go away. Yeah. So I'm like, take whatever you want. Take the decor, take the balloons, take the food. Yeah. I don't want to find a home for all this stuff that I didn't own before this party. So have a little take home. That can also double as kind of like almost a party favor if you package it in a cute enough way. But I think there's nothing better after a party than bringing home like a cookie or a cupcake and having it while the party's over and you're in your sweats on your couch, right? Like I'd rather eat a cupcake then than talking to somebody.
We'll get to this in a minute.
Okay.
But the after party is so important.
The after party's the best. The best. Drinks. So Dan's party, he mentioned we're keeping it simple. It's beer and wine and, soda and water and things for the kids.
Stadium food. Yeah.
Stadium food.
Stadium, you're going to get a beer or you're going to get it in the Mariners, at the Mariners Stadium, you're going to get a King beer. They call it from the Kingdom.
Yes.
We used to have the Kingdom. So King beer. So we're going to have beer and we're going to have wine. And that's it.
And that's perfect.
It's perfect.
At your home parties, if you're having alcohol or even without alcohol, you don't have to have a million different drink options.
A full bar.
No, I think people think they have to have like every single thing. And I'm like, just make one signature drink. Yeah. And say it is like a cocktail, make a mocktail version so that you have something for everybody. That's all you have. Okay. It just keeps it so easy. And it's festive. It's like, oh, we have this margarita for our Cinco de Mayo party, or we have this cocktail for whatever theme. I don't know. It depends on the theme, but I can come up with something for anything. So if you guys need an idea, just shoot me a message. And then we talked about dessert table, which I think the dessert table is the centerpiece of any party.
Okay.
Everybody loves the dessert. 2.5 treats per person.
Okay.
But you guys don't have to make every single dessert. Like, don't put it on yourself to make the cake and the cupcakes and the sugar cookies and all of that. Unless you're like a crazy baker and want to do all that, make 1 or 2 things homemade and then buy the rest.
See, one of the things I love about you and the parties that you throw is, yes, you are a baker and you own a bake shop, but not everything is Jenny Cookies. You'll have little Trader Joe's
totally
baked goods in there. You'll have, some favorite cookies that we like from other places baked in there. So I love that. And plus, I actually like those desserts, so I love it.
He loves it. I know that Dan loves macarons and he loves pie. So like
pastries, anything pastries.
Yeah, anything pastries. So normally, like, I'll use Allie's party for an example because I feel like her 16th birthday was one of the bigger ones we've done. And Allie loves Macs too. So I just found somebody local that could make us Macs for her party that would match the color palette. Those were gone in like 2 seconds, but we had
did a cake, right?
The bake shop did the cake and the cupcakes and the smash cookies. And we didn't have to have 10 million things. I probably did have something from Trader Joe's. Look around in the bakery section at your grocery store. You never know what you're going to find. And I always say you can elevate any dessert by putting it on a beautiful platter or tray or whatever, just your dessert table display looks like. I mean, my friend Heather always laughs at me because I taught her the Walmart pie trick. Do you know the Walmart pie trick?
Put a bow on it. Yeah, put a ribbon on it.
The next time you go to the W, which is what we call Walmart in our family, go to the W into their bakery section and you'll find this little square cardboard like craft paper box, and it's a mini pie. For years, you can go through my blog and old pages and you'll see those mini pies on the dessert table of any theme that felt like it needed a pie. But I unwrapped it and I just got a little strand of ribbon or a scrap of fabric and I tied like a bow around it with a little spoon. It's the cutest thing on your dessert table. And those pies are 50 cents.
Yeah, and you could flip them for $4 easy with that little bow, right?
People love them. Yeah. People love them. So look around your store and see what you can throw into the mix. You can take chocolate chip cookies and tie a little twine around them, stack them up, and all of a sudden they look so cute rather than just like a pile of chocolate chip cookies sitting there. I can talk all day about dessert tables, but those are my quick dessert tricks.
That's a really good topic for another podcast.
Really?
Yeah, because we've been thinking about that. We were on a walk today, we were thinking about what are some topics?
Okay.
That's a good one. I'm writing that down right now.
Okay, desserts. So for Dan's party, for example, we'll do like just a few sugar cookies. And I think that's all we're doing from the bake shop. Yeah. But like obviously concessions. So I've got Big League Chew and popcorn and Cracker Jacks and peanuts and Red Rope and, all of that stuff for all the kids. And I know you're going to eat it too. Dan's favorite thing when he goes to a party is all the junk. Like the favorite parties Dan has gone to are the ones with all the candies.
Oh yeah.
You love it. You're like, oh my gosh, she got the best candy at this party. And Heather's party.
Candy bar.
You love Heather's candy bars.
I just loved Heather's party. It was like almost a Halloween party where there was just Halloween candy all over. And I was just like Snickers, Twix.
Your like 10-year-old self was coming out.
I am.
Okay, let's talk decorations. So this is also going to depend on how big of a party you're having, right? Like, let's go back to the party in the park. We don't need a whole bunch of decorations. For your party, we're hosting at this super cool venue locally, and the venue is like cool enough that we don't need tons and tons of decor, but you might be in a space where you do have to bring in a lot. Try to find a place where you don't need a ton of decor because it just makes everything more expensive. For a dance party, I'm bringing in flowers because I think flowers always bring life into an event. And I know that might not seem like it goes with baseball, but again, go back to your color palette. So I'm going to go to Trader Joe's this week and find all the chamomile flowers, which are the little tiny white daisies with like the mustard center, because it goes with your mustard and royal blue. Like, I don't think people think flowers in baseball, but I'll tie in the colors with your theme. What are you thinking? Are you laughing?
It'll be fine. No, I don't think it'll look fine. Well, and when you think
it's going to look great.
Though, you think of outdoors and grass. So I think you can tie that in.
You have to have flowers at your event, but try to think about what you can find locally and seasonally. There's been times like in Christmas time, for example, there's not a lot of flowers blooming. Mostly the only things you can find at the stores are like roses, and for some reason tulips seem to be popping up year round nowadays. But I'll just do tons of like holly and greenery from trees and throw that in different canisters and vessels and jars and things, and that just like adds that element of life into a party. Balloons obviously are so fun. Kids love balloons. Balloon garlands are all the rage. I've got a really fun balloon girl coming to your party. She's making us like the cutest backdrop.
Is it for photos?
Yes.
Oh, cool.
So you want to have, again, depending on the size of your party, I love to have some sort of photo backdrop where guests can take a picture by it. And if you're on social, they'll share that on social. But it's like that little take-home memento. So kind of a step and repeat, which is fun. Doesn't have to be super formal and fancy. I can remember Allie's flamingo party way back.
Yeah, at the gym. At a health club.
Gym. Okay, you guys can cringe and go back to Allie's 4th birthday party. It was pretty bad. But I couldn't find anything flamingo back then. Since then, flamingos are everywhere. But way back when Allie was 13 or 14 years ago, I had to go to the zoo to find anything flamingo. Yeah. But I remember a girlfriend of mine found a flamingo shower curtain.
Okay.
And she's like, do you want me to get this? And I'm like, yes, get it. And that's what we used as the photo backdrop.
That's awesome. In a gym.
In a gym. Okay. So it's not always glamorous, but it worked. In a tight photo, you couldn't tell that it was a shower curtain. It was just a cute backdrop for the photos. Big party tip. And this is my must have at any party. You should always have an activity.
Okay.
The reason being, it gives people something to do. If not, you're just like, okay, we're here, cool, we're eating, we're drinking, we're talking. But there's something about having an activity and something to do that like gets people to talk to each other, to engage. It helps people that don't know anybody or are uncomfortable at a party. It gives people something to do. So, I mean, I feel like I've done everything at parties. We've arranged flowers. We've made wreaths. We've wrapped presents like we've talked about. We're going to it could be watching a game. Okay. That's what yours is. I've had friends over to watch the royal wedding. Remember when that was Meghan and Harry like a million years ago? I used to have friends over to watch The Bachelor. Some sort of craft or activity that people can work on or do or watch. It just, I don't know, it kind of like lightens the mood a tiny bit. Dan's still yawning. Are you really that bored?
I'm not yawning.
From this? I'm
not bored. I'm listening to you. I love this because I'm reliving all the parties.
Parties. I love a craft. Like, even if it's not like a crafty kind of party, like I'm thinking back to Hudson's pirate party on the beach, right?
Like I was Captain Hook.
Yeah. Do you remember the craft for that party?
The craft.
Oh my gosh, if you can, like you literally,
painter, didn't you?
We did have a face painter, and that wasn't really a craft, but that kind of is considered an activity.
It was did they go to try to find gold? No. What did they do?
They painted treasure boxes.
Oh, okay.
So like a little pirate treasure box. The kids had that to do. So for kid parties, it's always nice to have lots of little things for them to do because it keeps the kids busy. But adults like to do little things too. It's kind of fun. Set up a little station where you can make bracelets.
I love watching adults at Jenny's parties because they're just like in awe. They're like,
they're so excited.
What the heck is going on right now? It's insane.
It's fun.
It is fun.
Because as an adult, you get to like do the things you wish you could have done when you were a kid.
The captain of the boat that we rented for Allie's birthday to take us around Lake Washington for her Sweet 16 was even like what in the heck is going on?
The captain was not driving the boat. He was like down at the party with us.
With you guys. Yeah.
I love a good party. The next thing on my list is the music. Okay, so...
Which you do really a good job of putting together playlists.
Gotta have a good playlist. If you don't have a DJ, which, most parties, you don't need a DJ. For Ellie's 16th birthday, we did splurge, and we had a DJ, and it was so fun.
Yeah, Jenny had more fun than any of the girls there.
For sure. For sure. But the DJ was well worth it. I loved having that. But you don't need that for every party. Just make sure you have a really great playlist. You can make one in Spotify. Do that way ahead of your party. Weeks before or a week before. Because... you don't want to be putting that together an hour before your party.
Baseball playlist.
Oh, it's going. It's so good. Yes.
They'll put me in coach.
Of course. Yes. I like to think of parties like the five senses, right? Like make sure you've covered all your bases. So we've got, you can hear, right? Like it's like sight, sound, hearing. Like what are the correct words for this?
Sound.
So sight would be like how the party looks, right? So we've talked about the decor and all of those things. Sound is your music.
Yep. Smell.
Okay. So
taste.
Our party for the baseball is going to smell probably like hot dogs because we want that stadium smell. But if you're having a party at your house, make sure like your house smells good. Like, do you have a great candle going? Like, what's the scent that's going on? You can even theme it if it's Christmas time. You can have like a Christmassy candle going or a diffuser or whatever you like in your house.
Now you got taste and touch.
Taste, obviously the food, we talked about it. Touch, I would consider touch more like that activity. What are you doing? So kind of think through all of those things before you go into a party. And then, we're getting to the end now. Like we've planned everything. We know what we're wearing. We know what we're serving. We know what the music's going to be. The party's set up. I think it's super important to remember it all. So make sure you take time to photograph or take a video or whatever you want to do for your party before the party happens.
Yes.
Don't tell yourself, I can do it during the party.
Yeah.
You're not going to be able to. Everything's going to get ruined. You're not going to get any photos because you're going to be busy talking to all your guests. So set time aside, whether you've hired a photographer or a videographer, make sure you have them do all of that early. Okay. And I have learned that the hard way. But I always want to remember it once I've done all that. Like get your family photo way before the party starts. And if it is a really special occasion, I highly recommend hiring a photographer. There were years where I photographed everything myself. And then I got to the point where it was like, I want somebody else to do this. It's too hard to try and like capture it all and all the guests and our family and then have to edit all that on the back end. So splurge, pay for the photographer, the videographer. You'll never regret it down the road. Is there anything I'm forgetting that you're coming to mind?
I think what I love about everything today is you kind of take the anxiety out of, okay, I just threw this party. How do I make it not awkward? What do I do at the party? So you encourage people to float around, but with the activities, with the right people there and the right music, I feel like it just flows. I think
you're just so happy to be there. Yeah. The recipe for the perfect party. You want to make sure you talk to everybody at your party too. Yeah. When you're the host, just remember that you're throwing this super fun party, but you actually don't really get to enjoy the party like a guest would. Yeah. I've often said, like, I wish I could be a guest at my own parties because once I get to the party, it's like, okay, now it's time to host everybody. But I love doing it, so I wouldn't take it back. But make sure you are engaging with everybody, talking to everybody throughout the night, connecting anybody that doesn't know one another.
So you're going to wrap up, and then I want to wrap up with a couple of tips.
Okay.
A couple of co-pilot tips. But as you wrap up, one of the things that you do really well, people come to your party, they have a great time, but they leave with something. I live for a party favor. Okay. Maybe I'm going to tie that into the tombstone. So it's all about the invitation and the party favor. Yes. People love a take home. Okay. It helps them remember the party. It's something fun to look forward to. Allie's party, we did merch. I mean, it was so cute. She had Allie's sweatshirts. Allie had a hooded sweatshirt that said Allie's Party Disco. Yes. If you follow us on social, you have seen the white sweatshirt. Dan has gotten every penny out of that sweatshirt. Listen, Allie's friends still wear the white she's like, sweatshirt. It was like a hot commodity at school. Like if you got the sweatshirt. But it doesn't always have to be something so big. It could literally be a cute little vessel that people are going to fill with candy to take home, right? Like we've gone super big and we've gone really minimal. It doesn't have to be anything huge. Like for the ladies' wrapping party, for example, I gave everybody really cute
personalized gift tags to use because it was like it went with the theme, right? Every girl got like a family, you know what I'm talking about, like to wrap your gifts with. Gosh, what are other themes? I got to think through like what her other themes have been, or Hudson's themes. I mean, he's at a Nerf party and the kids got like Nerf guns. At the shark party, we gave everybody these really cool life jackets that had like sharks on the back. Yeah. So it kind of doubled as like the party activity, kept the kids safe. Yeah. And then they got to take them home. Yeah. But those are big. I mean, but I will admit I've gone big on our kids' birthdays and I don't regret it. I'm sorry for what I spent, but I love looking back at our kids' birthday parties. You have a really good take home. I'm not going to say what it is yet. Okay. But if you are one of Dan's clients and you got that ticket in the mail, you should be coming on Thursday because you're going to want the favor. It's a good one.
I love it. All right. So I'm the co-pilot to a lot of these parties, and this is my words of encouragement to you. If you're throwing a party, it's really important. So I learned this a long time ago. My wife's love language is when I help clean up, it really pays dividends into that fund, the love language fund. Okay, so she loves that. The other thing is I help her. I know how important these are to her. I know she's the party girl, so I know she loves parties, throwing parties. And this is a big deal to her, so I'm a resource. I help set up. Most of the parties that you've ever thrown, I've been there or been a part of it, whether it's helping serve stuff or just being a part. Yeah. And so I want to encourage you, if you have a partner or a spouse or a friend, grab that person. That person can help you. And then at the end, I know what my role is when you have parties. My role is to help tidy up and clean up so that Jenny can truly enjoy the after party. And the after party, I think, is where you actually get to enjoy your party.
I love the after party.
Talk about the after party real quick.
The after party means you've just like entertained. I mean, it's like having a concert, right? It's like the after show. Like it's the best part. And it's usually like your closest friends are there for the after party. They're helping. I mean, and the after party is literally if it's at your house, it's in your kitchen where you guys are cleaning up, doing dishes, putting everything away, and then finally getting to like sit on the couch and just like talk about the party. Yeah. Like what happened, how fun it was, what your favorite part was, eat the dessert, sit on the couch with the cupcakes. I love the after party, but the people that stay and help you clean up, like those are your people. I'm
your person.
You are my person. You are. But if you're at an event, or a venue, it's the same thing. Like the people that help you carry all the junk to your car when you're done. And I mean, that's my favorite part of the party. I love it. After the party is over now, say the party's over next day, a week later, whatever, send your guests a playlist to the party.
Kind of like, hey, thanks for coming. Hey, by the way, here's the playlist.
It's fun. Like, I also had so much fun last night, or, whenever it was. Also, if you had a photographer, send them the images. People love that. Yeah. And then say it was a birthday party or, something more of something that we were celebrating, like in a sense where somebody might bring a gift or do something. Always send a thank you. You should always make your kids write thank you cards, and then it will help them do that when they become older. It just get them into the routine. I mean, even if it's as simple as having them write their name if they're little kids, but it teaches them that gratitude and making sure they can recognize like somebody came to your birthday or graduation or whatever it was and brought you something. Make sure that you tell them thank you for coming, right?
Yeah. Good work.
Yeah.
This was fun. I think this was fun.
You yawned.
I had fun because I'm over here just reliving all the parties over the last 20 years of our life together. So it was fun. You are the ultimate party girl, and you know how to do this. I have told you for years, I think your greater calling in life will have something to do with events and parties.
I love to party. Well, I'm excited for Dan's party. It's going to be fun. Keep an eye out on Thursday. I'll try to share. That's the other hard part about throwing a party. Sometimes I can't multitask and do social and host, but it will be coming.
If you're listening
on a blog or on social.
You're a client of mine. I want to see you on Thursday night. It's going to be fun.
Heck yeah.
And you get to experience everything that you just learned in the last 30 minutes.
That's right.
On Thursday night.
And if I missed anything, which I'm sure I did because we talked about parties in 30 minutes, but always message me if you need help with a favor or a venue or a theme or a night, like whatever it is, here for you for the parties. But Dan, we need a challenge for the week. This is off the cuff. I didn't think through it.
Ooh, it's tough. Challenge for the week. You're going to have to go with this one, dude.
He's saying it?
Party challenge for the week.
Party challenge.
Huh. think of your next party. And it doesn't have to be big. Think of a reason to celebrate someone or something. So it's April's coming up. There's Easter. There's, I don't know, spring. Do that. That's
plan something.
Yeah, plan something. Something small, something large, but plan something.
Yep. I think it could be as easy as like if you have little kids, like we're doing a party today for whatever. It's April Fool's.
Mm-hmm. There you go.
Yep. Plan a party. Big or small, and tag me in it. I want to see your parties. Okay. Let's see your skills. All right, you guys, have a great week, and we'll see you next week with the Baker and the Banker podcast. Goodbye.